Welcome to video 5 of Objection Handling Level 1. In today's video, we're going to brainstorm some more questions on preparing for objections during the sales process and begin to apply them to your own presentation. All right, let's take a moment and review what we learned in video 4. Now, we learned to not allow objections to drive us nuts by focusing on questions that apply to the 4 areas where we find most objections. 1, need; 2, urgency; trust; and then finally, money and resources. We also learned to pre-qualify the prospect by assessing their role as the decision maker, their ability to pay, and capabilities and availability to receive the product. It was said, a smart man may own numerous tools, but the wise man knows when and at what time to use them. K. Nicholson. A sale is not an event, it's a process, it's an emotional journey. And remember that our customers buy on emotion and later justify with logic, and that there are 2 reasons and only 2 reasons why someone does buy. It's either to gain an emotion or avoid an emotion or both. Now, what happens when the customer loses confidence and believes that the product or service won't give them the emotion that they do want or won't help them avoid the emotion that they don't want? Well, the answer is they put up an irrational objection. Today we're going to learn how to find those objections in advance so that we can avoid those landmines later on in the presentation. Because this process can be specific to each customer, how do we know what objections might come up? Well, simply, we get to ask effective questions. Imagine the sales process like walking through a minefield blindfolded, okay? And your job is to cross the field without stepping on one of these landmines. The problem is you don't know where they are. And commonly, the prospect doesn't either because they lie underneath the surface. Your job is to ask effective questions so the customer can help us to safely navigate through this minefield. Now, sometimes that means digging a bit to discover what's underneath the surface. You'll be happy that you did. And you know what? So will your prospect. Now, how can effective questions help us to know more about the potential minds our customers may have? Well, it gets them talking and liking us because we're listening and we're empathizing with their wants and needs. In return, they feel safe with us and build trust in our process. We become their problem-solving ally to support them in coming to a decision that works best for them. Now, what are the effective questions we can use to identify the customer's blind objections? Now, I'm going to encourage you to make a list of your favorite questions as I share with you a few of my favorite. Now, it's important to know that these questions are to be used in context throughout the sales process. So here we go. I'd like to ask, hey, what do you think about the plan? Or what is the challenge or a challenge you're currently facing? And what are the consequences of this issue over time? And you seem a little bit worried about X. What are your thoughts on that? You also said that X was a problem. Tell me more about that. Why isn't this particular technology, service, product, or situation really working for you right now? Now, we get many people reaching out to us because they are experiencing challenges with need, urgency, trust, or money with their current provider. How are these affecting you? Now, if I could make X happen for you today, what would that mean for you? You mentioned that you're not having a good experience with your current provider. If you work with us, what are you hoping will be different? Now, given all that we've talked about today, what you know, what do you see as being different for you if we were to move forward and get you set up? All right, so those are some powerful questions there. Now it's time for you to take action. I want you to take your list of questions you compiled from the last video and add a few more of the questions that you liked from this video series. Test them out this week and evaluate what works. In conclusion, remember that you are a buyer's consultant and it is your job as the problem-solving ally to help them come to a winning decision. Primarily, we can use effective questioning and listening to help them to assess what their wants and needs are. After all, there is a yes in everyone. Your job is to find it before you give up. In Objection Handling Level 2, we'll discuss how to remove the objections at the point of sale. We'll see you there.